Hi everyone, I'm Jacy from Craft Life and I'm here today to teach you how to make a Rainbow Loom 3D apple. These will make a great gift for a teacher. And I am so excited about this because it is my first Rainbow Loom 3D object. And I just love it so much. And the supplies you'll need to make this are a Rainbow Loom hook or crochet hook, and rubber bands. And in this apple, I used a dark green and a dark brown, but today I'm going to be using a light green and a light brown and red. You will also need either some polyfill, some napkins, or even tissues. You can use whatever you want to fill your 3D apple. But today I am using polyfill. It's so soft. So please get your supplies and we'll begin. To begin, we're going to make the stem. And for the stem, you're going to need some brown rubber bands and a red rubber band. But remember, if you're going to do a green apple, you will need a green rubber band instead. But you can make your apple whatever color you would like it. I am making mine red, so I will be using a red rubber band. So for the stem, we are going to take 2 rubber bands and we're just going to twist them onto your hook, like that. Now we're going to take 2 more, put them at the tip of your hook, and we're going to pull these off. Like that. And now you're going to place this back on, just like that. Now we're going to take 2 more rubber bands and do the same thing. Place them at the tip of your hook and then pull this through. Make sure you don't catch any of the rubber bands as you go back. Now you're going to place it back on. And you want your rubber bands to be even at the top. So just pull them so that they're all at the same length. Like that. Now we're going to take 2 more rubber bands and do the same thing. Pull it through. Place it back on. And we're going to do 1 more. Pull it through. Like that. And now we're going to take our red rubber band and you're going to twist it on the tip of your hook 3 times. Like that. Now, if you can, you're just going to grab the other side of the red, well, as much as you can. Like that. You're going to pull this through. Place it back on. And then you're going to pull 3 of these loops through the other 3. And now your stem is ready to attach to your apple, but we need to make the apple before we can attach it. And now we're going to make the leaf. And to make the leaf, you're going to take your Rainbow Loom, have it set up in the staggered formation, and we're going to take our first green rubber band. We're going to go from here to here. And do the same thing on this side. Now we're going to go down 2 on both sides. Go down 2. And now, go in the middle. Now in the center, we are just going to lay our rubber bands down. Now you're going to turn it around so that the arrows are pointing towards you. And we're going to lay a rubber band on all of these pegs. So stretch it from here to here. So we just made a huge square. And now we need to hook it. So we're going to take another rubber band and we're going to twist it on this peg 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, like that. Now you're going to pull back your cap band, grab the top rubber band, bring it over the top and onto the peg in front of it. Now we're going to do the same thing again. Pull back your cap band, grab the next rubber band, bring it to this side. Now we're going to pull it back again and grab this rubber band and bring it to this side. We're going to hook up the sides before we do the middle. So starting on this one, we're going to grab the bottom loop, bring it to the peg in front of it, bottom loop to the peg in front of it, and the bottom loop to the peg diagonal from it. Do the same to this side. Bottom loop and your bottom loop. And now it's time to hook up the middle. So just bring the bottom loop on all of these. Now on your last peg, you're going to stick your hook in, grab a green rubber band, pull it up through all of these rubber bands, place it back on, and we're going to pull one loop through the other. Now you can just help your loops off. And pull this off in the center. Now all you have to do is stretch it out a little bit. Just stretch it to make it look like a leaf. And now that we have our leaf and our stem, we are ready to make our apple. So to make your apple, we're going to start by taking out our middle row. We're going to pull this row up and turn it around so that its arrows point to the left. And now we're going to pull out our big blue piece. So make sure it's all pushed down. And we're going to start on these 2 pegs, and we're going to be making a rounded bottom. So we are going to make our X's doubled on the ends. So wrap it around your finger, and we're going to make an X from here to here. Now we're going to go from here to here and do the same thing. Wrap it around your finger, make an X, and push it down. Now for the rest of them, until you get to the other end, we're just going to do regular X's. You do not have to twist them. And now on these 2, we are going to take it, twist it around our finger, and we're going to make an X from here to here. Now we're going to do the same thing on these 2. Twist it on your finger and make an X from here to here. So make sure these are all pushed down. And now we're going to lay X's from peg to peg all the way down. So starting on this one, since we are making a rounded bottom, we are going to twist it on our finger and then make an X. And now for the rest of them, until you get to the other end, you are just going to be making regular X's. So do not twist these rubber bands and push them down. Now, since we're back on this end, we are going to twist the next rubber band on our finger. And we are going to make an X from here to here. Now push this down. And we are ready to start laying our rows. So you're going to turn your loomer on so that this row is pointing towards you and this row is pointing away from you. And we're just going to lay our rubber bands normally now. And do not push these down. Now we're going to bring our bottom loops over the top. And on this one, it is going to be very tight to bring over, so you want to put your hook facing down, hold these down, and then bring this over. Same with this one. Put your hook facing down and bring it over. Now for the rest of them, until you get to the other ends, you are just going to do it regularly. So now on this one again, we are going to place our hook facing down and then bring it over. You can push this row down now. But now we need to do the other side. So place it facing down, then bring it over the top, and do the same for the next one. And keep going. Put it facing downward, bring it over, and do it again. Push them all down, and now we are going to lay another row. So starting on these two pegs, we're just going to lay our rubber bands again and do not push them down. Now we have a bottom row and a top row, and we're going to bring our bottom loops over the top, and each peg is going to have 2 rubber bands to bring over the top. So just bring them over the top. Push them down as you go. So we have just done 2 rows, and you want to have 18 rows in total. So you're going to do 16 more rows of laying your rubber bands in a counterclockwise rotation, and then bring your bottom loops over the top in a clockwise rotation. And each peg is going to have 2 rubber bands to bring over the top, and push them down as you go. So please do this, and I'll be right back. I just finished my 18 rows, and now I'm ready to hook. But before we hook, I want to show you something. On this peg, since we went in a counterclockwise rotation, we always ended on this peg. And what you want to do, and so we can hook this peg, you need to take the top loop and you need to switch it to the bottom. So hold your top loop and hold your bottom loop with your other hand. Place your top loop down first, and then you put your bottom loop down. So now when we go to hook it, it will be hooked correctly. So we're going to start on this peg. You're going to grab that bottom loop, bring it to the peg next to it, and I know that was my bottom loop. because it hooked the loop behind it. Now we're going to take our bottom loop here, and I know that was our bottom loop because it hooked the loops behind it, and you're just going to keep checking to make sure you grab the bottom loop. It was the bottom loop, so I'm going to keep going. And on this one, since they are twisted, I'm just going to push this one down. And if this does not work, that means that I need to take the other one. And yes, that was our bottom loop. So I'm just going to keep hooking these. So now on your last one, you're going to stick your hook through both of those loops. You're going to grab a rubber band, place it on your hook, then place it back on and pull one loop through the other. And now we are not going to take this off our loom yet. Instead, we want to make a chain. So to make this chain, we are going to take a rubber band, place it on your hook, take another one, pull it through, place it back on, and then you're going to pull one loop through the other. And do not pull it too tight because we do not want these rubber bands to become too loose and then they break. And you're just going to keep doing that. Okay, so now you should have 10 of them. And if you do not have 10, please pause the video, make them, and press play when you are ready. Once you have your 10 rubber band chain, we are going to start on this peg, and you're going to stick your hook in, grab the end of this chain, and pull it up, like this. Now, we're going to hold it in one hand, and then stick our hook up through the other one, with the other one, and then we're going to pull it back down. So we just went up and then down, and we're just going to continue that. So go up, and then down, up, and down. And you're going to do this until you run out of space on your rubber band chain. So now, we're going to just pop these off our rainbow loom. And we are just going to pull them all to one end to make room. But don't pull too much because you do not want this chain to break. So now we have more room and we are just going to stick it up, bring it down, stick it up, bring it down. Now we can take these off. stick it up. Stick your hook up. And keep going like this. So stick your hook up into this and then bring this down. And now you can pop these off again. I'm going to take them off again. And then do your last one. So pull this out. And now it's time to put in our polyfill. But remember, you can use like a napkin or some tissues or whatever you want to use. And you're just going to stick it all inside of your apple. And if you do not want to see your stuffing at all, don't stuff it too much. I just want mine to be full. Okay, so now we're going to pull both of these ends. Not this loop or slip knot, we're just going to pull them. But make sure you pull it very carefully, because if you pull it way too fast and way too hard, the whole thing could just break and you will not have an apple. And you don't want that to happen. So if you want, you can go inside here and help it. Just don't pull too much, too hard. Very gently and slowly. And for the rest of it, we are just going to sew it up. So whatever you can't close, we are just going to sew it up. And I think that's enough for mine. I don't want to give these rubber bands any more time to stretch out. So I'm just going to tie them. Tie them. And tie them. And now with this, I do not want that much going inside my apple, but if you don't want to cut them, you don't have to. But I'm just going to cut it up here. I'm not going to cut near the knot, because if you cut it near the knot, it is going to break. So just tuck it inside of your apple. And now we are ready to sew it up. Now we are ready to sew up our top. And to do this, we want to just add one rubber band to this. So we're going to stick it on, pull it through, place it back on, and then pull one loop through the other and pull it tight. And now we're going to start on this side, and we're just going to stick it in around here. And you are going to pull this strand through. So pull that through. And then we're going to go back on this side. Pull it through. Then go back on this side. And we're just going to repeat this. Pull it through. And yes, some of the stuffing wants to escape. You can just push it in. Just go back and forth like this. And your last one. This is going to be the bottom, by the way, so you want to make sure that it sits properly. And mine does, so I'm going to tie a knot on, well, I'm going to just stick this back inside because since we have this whole extra rubber band, all you have to do now is stick your hook in through like down this side, and we are just going to pull this through. And don't pull all the way down, and then just let your hook free. So now it's tucked in. And at the top, we are ready to add our leaf and stem, but before that, you just want to make sure that it sits properly. And just, round it out at the bottom more if you need to. And just fix it up. Now we are ready to add our stem, and to do that, we are just going to grab right in the middle. And for me, I'm going to grab right here. Grab a few rubber bands there. We're going to grab that jumble of 3 rubber bands at the bottom there, at our stem. We're going to pull them through. And yes, this may seem crazy, but we are going to grab at the top of the stem, those 4 rubber bands. We're going to pull these through. Like that, and that's how you put on a stem. But now to attach our leaf, we just need to put it on the stem and twist it around 3 times. You can fix it up and push it around. You can shape your apple however you would like, and on the bottom you can just push it in to make it sit nice. So just push it, and it should sit better. And then on the sides, you can just push them in again. But you can leave them out like this, but I like mine in more. And then you are done. This is what they look like when they're done. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you make some, I'd love to see them. My Instagram is CraftLifeUSA, so please tag me in a photo. And don't forget to like us on Facebook, pin it on Pinterest, and subscribe right here on YouTube. I hope you're living a craft life just like me. Thanks for watching. Bye!